Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Quita, and on this video, I'm going to be showing you guys my budget review. This is my first ever budget review. As you guys know, you see my budget planner. You know I have a new setup. I am now a budget girl, and I'm excited to share with you guys the details of how my first week went. I'm pretty impressed. I'm pretty excited about this whole journey. But first, if you're new to my channel, I hope you'll stick around and consider subscribing and also giving me a thumbs up on this video if you enjoy it. So let's jump in. I'm going to show you guys all things budget today. If you want to see that, make sure to stay tuned. All right, guys, so once again, I am now budgeting. I won't say that I was budgeting before. It was just that for our home and our personal expenses here within the home, outside of my shop income and my money that I bring to the table, we do that via a spreadsheet. My husband typically handles most of that. He is the breadwinner around here, but I am contributing to the household in some way. And so I'm gonna share with you guys kind of my expenses, what I pay, you know, how things went my first week. I do a paycheck to paycheck budget using inserts from my shop. It went extremely well. I'm super excited about everything, so proud of myself, and it really helps to see where you're spending your money. And so I have two systems that I'm using. I'm using this cash envelope system here. Right now I'm doing a cashless cash envelope system, and that seems to be working for me for now, but I do eventually want to become an all cash spender because I see the benefits of it. And sometimes with it being digital and using your ATM card still, it's a little bit confusing. And so I do eventually want to become an all cash spender. So I'm working my way towards that, but I have implemented cash envelopes. And you guys know I did recently purchase this from Amazon. I love it. It is my wallet now. So I have fully transitioned into this. And so I'm gonna give you an overhead view once I really start getting into numbers so you can see all of this stuff. But basically I have my cash envelopes on this side. And again, overhead view coming, but I've got cash envelopes over here for all of my different subjects. These are available in my shop, and they are working out so well. And so I track all of my spending in my cash envelopes. And then I am using a Filofax. I love it. It's so pretty. It's Malden and stone gray. It's super gorgeous. And so within this planner, which is just for budgeting, I do have several different sections here. One, of course, being budget. And again, I have a workbook in my shop available. You guys have been downloading this like crazy, so hopefully it has been helping some of you to achieve your budget goals. I have lots of goals, and again, just writing it out on paper allows you to see that and be able to track it more easily. And so I have a monthly overview here, and then again I have my paycheck to paycheck budget. So I'm going to show you guys last week. We are now in the week of the 27th, and so today is Wednesday, and so I've already done my budget for this week, so I'll share with you a little bit about that as well so you can see kind of my budget for the week. I do get paid weekly. I have about four different streams of income. So I'll share with you all of those details as well. You guys know I'm super transparent here on my channel. So I do share numbers. Again, this isn't my family expenses. This isn't my main, you know, my husband's income is not going to be shared here. It's just going to be my income with my shop and social media. And so let's go ahead and transition into that overhead view so I can show you guys all the details of the paycheck to paycheck budget for last week. I can show you my budget for this week, and then I can show you how I use cash envelopes and how the system all works together. All right, so again, we've got our cash envelopes and we've got our budget planner here. I am going to go ahead and also plan for the month of February since it's right around the corner. I've got the new budget sticker book and accessory book, and also the old school budget sticker book. So I am ready to go. I've got my coffee here, the Teresa Collins Be Happy Box collab with Happy Planner. That's the cup, super chic. Gotta have my coffee, and I am ready to plan. So first and foremost, I'm going to talk you guys through last week because that's a part of this whole process as well. I'm going to share with you guys results and how things went, how I feel about it, and then we're going to look towards the future and go ahead and plan for this current week. On my monthly spread, I've already planned my actual budget. And so I feel good about that. So this is where it starts. This is my monthly view. If you haven't seen my inserts yet for my budget and expense workbook, eventually it will be offered as a full workbook for the entire year. I'm excited about that. And so I do want to make a couple of tweaks to it and add a couple more things to it just to give you just more bang for your buck. So I'm adding some trackers to it. I do have a tracker section here in my planner. I'm excited to add the tracker inserts just so you can track your savings and all of that good stuff. You can track it on a few different sheets that I have prepared. I just need to finalize them, and then I'll be adding them to this workbook. And then also comment below, let me know some other things that you would like to see in this workbook. I was also thinking maybe some inserts for the sinking funds, because I do have a cash envelope insert here. And so I was thinking maybe also a sinking funds worksheet breakdown sort of situation. So I am working on that. I also don't really feel the need to have an additional page of expense trackers for the week. I feel like one page is enough. I don't really spend that much. And I guess the whole goal here is to not spend as much because you're trying to budget and save. So comment below, let me know if you think this additional tracker is still essential. Do you think 2 pages is enough, or should I keep 3 pages? My whole idea behind this also was for you to be able to pull this out and add it to the next week if you have more expenses there. That's why I did it double-sided with the expense tracker, so you could easily pull this out. So I'm still kind of tweaking things, and so that's why I'm not ready to go full force yet with a budget workbook, for a whole entire year. And then I'm also going to do a budget kit where it's going to include the budget planner, it's going to include the tabs, the dashboards, and the cash envelope. So I'm excited about that. So let's go ahead and flip back to the monthly view. So again, it starts here. I write in all of my bills and expenses for the whole entire month. So this, again, January was my first month, like really going full force with this budget planning thing. Again, we do budget plan for my husband's, he is the breadwinner. Of course, he does make the majority of the money. He pays the majority of the bills, but I do have some things that I pay here as well. And so, we do that via a spreadsheet. I know I keep talking about the spreadsheet, but I have yet to show you, and I probably won't show you. I'm okay with sharing with you guys my income here for my shops and things like that, but I don't really feel that comfortable showing you my whole entire household expenses. So please give me grace on that. So again, monthly, broke everything down. This is every single thing that I pay on a monthly basis. A lot of things are from my shop and business expenses, but how I do that is I have a Amazon credit card. I put it all on the Amazon credit card, and then of course I pay a specific amount every single month towards that credit card. I like to have business expenses separate from personal expenses, so that way I can see how much I'm spending on business expenses and I can track that separately. So again, this is my monthly view. So when I get ready to plan for February, which we are going to do in this video, I'm going to pull this out so I can see, because nothing really changes. This is pretty much standard stuff. And so that's what I do there on the monthly. And then here is my paycheck to paycheck bill tracker. So of course, this is for last week. We are now on the week of the 27th. I'm so proud of myself. I mean, I saved a lot of money this week, and I got to really see where the money was going. And so it starts here with my income breakdown. I feel the need to zoom you guys in a little bit more. Hopefully you guys can see that really well. But anyways, so it starts here with my budget breakdown. So I have YouTube that I was paid last week. It's once a month. And so that's how much I brought in for YouTube, $2,229.90. And then I got a little bit confused with how I was going to track things. So I went ahead and put my Shopify, all of the income, but it really was only this dot and this dot here for last week. So $977.75 on Shopify. And then on Amazon, I did do $143.69, or not Amazon, excuse me, $146.16 was for Amazon and $143.69 was for Share Sale. I didn't factor those in only because I received a check for Share Sale on Monday. So that went towards this income for this week, so you'll see that soon. And then for Amazon, the deposit went in on Monday, which I do have here on the 28th. So technically I shouldn't have written that stuff in here, but again, this is my first month. So I had budgeted $3206.75, but because I did get $1158, which I just rolled over to this specific week for PayPal, I had $1158 sitting in there. I just added that in. So the total income for PayPal, which wasn't necessarily income for that week, but again, it was sitting in there, and I'm trying to do a zero-based budget, which means every week I want to start at zero. I went ahead and rolled rolled that PayPal money over into this past week. So PayPal, $1158.66, $977.75, and then $2,229.90 for YouTube. So the total was $4366.31. Now, that's not a typical week, guys. So you're going to see soon with this week that it's dropped a lot. And that's because I was sick for a week and a half. I didn't promote anything with my shop. I didn't do any videos besides one collab video. I realize now that I have to stay, you know, popping on social media. I have to stay up on it in order for you guys to see new products and just, you know, stay in front of you is the only way that I'm really going to grow on social media and grow within my shop, so that, you know, it just works hand in hand. And so that was my total income. So I love being able to budget it, what you think it's going to be, and then have your actual right there. And so once you get your income breakdown done, then you want to come here in your bills. And so that's how it started. Everything was just budgeted. And then at the end of the week on Sunday or Monday morning, as early as possible, typically Sunday night, only because I want everything to clear out Sunday. I want to start fresh on Monday. Then I will sit down and do my actuals. Unless it's paid, I'll go ahead and write in the actual. And so these are the bills. I have $15 for my Soundstripe, and I am working on transitioning all of that stuff again to my Amazon debit card, or Amazon credit card. So that way all of my business expenses again are coming from there. So right now this did come out of my account, my regular checking account, as well as this Adobe money came out, which is going to be refunded to me because Adobe double charged me. So technically this is inaccurate. I just got the phone with them today. But we're just going to leave it in there. And then my EPEDIMIC music, that's all going to be going into my Amazon credit card once I change the billing. And then Acorns, I throw money into Acorns. I also have it where Acorns will round up. And so a lot of money comes out via that way as well. And that is so hard to track right now. I'm working on trying to figure out how to track it. I was thinking maybe for this week here that I would just write in, you know, whenever Acorns comes out, because it is considered savings. But for this particular week, I said, I know it's in there, whatever the balance is, it doesn't add up. I know that went to Acorns. So I'm trying to figure out how I want to do that. And then my car note is $475. We actually paid $480. For some reason, my husband said he paid $480. So that was the actual. And then I did purchase some labels from Shopify. Again, Shopify pays you everything all up front. And then when you get ready to print out a label, it will charge you for that. And that was $203.67. My threshold is $200. So whenever I hit $200, it's going to bill me. And so that's a little bit tricky to track as well, because it's just sporadic. Whenever I hit that limit, it's going to charge me $203.67. And so that is why you don't see a budgeted, because I didn't budget for that. That was an actual. And so I just wrote it in after the fact, as well as my Uline boxes. I wrote that in. I will again eventually be transitioning. Right now, I have a friend that works for Uline, and I pay him via PayPal. He pays for the stuff because he gets his discount from his employer. And so he buys the stuff for me, and then I pay him via PayPal. So I can't pay him with that Amazon credit card. So that's probably going to just have to be something that comes out of my account. And then $59 for AT&T. So the total for my bills, I had budgeted $725.99. It was actually $1,093.66. Oh, you can't see that. It was actually $1,093.66. So I thought I was going to have $24.80.76 left over, but I actually had $32.72.65 left over. And that's because of the difference between these two amounts here. So that really helped this month with me being able to save as much as I saved. So that is the bills breakdown. So all of that was paid. So again, $32.72.65 is what I had left over to go ahead and do my cash envelopes. And so I should actually have written in $32.72.65 here. All right, so $32.72.65 is what I have to work with. So then I go ahead and I do my cash envelopes. And again, I do a cashless cash envelope system, which is in here. These are my cash envelopes. I am trying out my new marble design. Again, it comes with the tabs there at the top, so that way you can see what you're working with. I love this cash envelope or wallet. I use it as my wallet as well. So I've got my credit cards and things over there. I've got some money and more credit cards and coupons and stuff on the other side. Love this. I will link it below. I do also have a black one that I use for my skinny mini. You guys saw that in a recent video that I showed you guys. And so these are my cash envelopes. I love them. And so I typically pull out both of these when I'm doing my budget. This stays in my purse. Both of these do typically. So whenever I spend something, I come here into the category that it belongs to. For instance, groceries. For this week, I haven't gone grocery shopping yet, but I do write my budget for groceries at the top. I write the week here, and then I go ahead and start breaking things down. So I haven't purchased any groceries yet because I had tons of food for last week. You guys saw my meal planning video yesterday. I already have everything prepped out for the week, so I don't see myself spending that much on eating out, or not eating out, but groceries. And whatever's left over here, I just balance it all out. I don't save anything and count it towards the next month or throw it into savings. I just kind of total it out at the end, and then I move on to the next part of that process, which is sinking funds. And so maybe in the future I'll see what I have left over, but a lot of times these numbers are off and I spend more in certain categories, so I just want to see how it balances out. And so again, I'll come in here, I'll take the little slip out, and then I'll write in whatever I spend for that particular week. And so that works out quite well. And I think just knowing that I'm accountable to this, I don't feel the need to have money in here necessarily, although I do eventually want to become an all cash spender, because I feel like it's a little bit confusing with getting money out of my bank account and things posting on different dates. It's a little bit tricky, so I do want to become an all cash spender. So that's something that I'm working towards. And so in my grocery category, I had $250 that I could spend. I actually spent $93. Personal, $200. I actually spent $207.26. I'm working on that personal category, y'all. That's tough. And then eating out, $150. We actually spent $178.96. We spent a lot of money on eating out. I'm trying to do better at that. Fun, I had allocated $100. We didn't spend any money. The kids, I spent $75. But I think maybe in the future, because that was for Addison's ballet, that I'm going to put ballet in as an expense. And I'm going to use that money for something else. Home, $50. I actually spent $177.46. We went to IKEA and we got some things. Gifts, I didn't spend anything. Medical, I spent $9.53. I had the flu and I bought some medicine from Walgreens. Otherwise, we do have health insurance and we have an HSA card, so typically that would be paid via that. Auto, I put $50, spent $0. Hair, $25, I spent $0. So my total that I thought I was going to do was $11.25, but I actually did $741.21. So that was good, right? Because I, again, in some other categories didn't spend as much as I thought. So $3,212.65 minus $741.21 left me with $2,531.41. Good. I'm doing good, right? And so then we move on to the sinking funds. All right. So sinking funds, I am planning a trip to a religious facility for my family. And so my girlfriend put it all on her credit card and I'm paying her back. And so I've been just throwing $200 in there per week whenever I can. And so I had budgeted for that. And of course I went ahead and paid. And then I want to take Addison to Disney. So that is one of my other sinking funds. And then I wrote these in because I didn't want to forget about these for this coming week, because these are some other sinking funds I want to save for a wedding that I'm going to. I want to go to Wimbledon, you guys, for tennis. My husband and I said that would be like a dream to be able to go to Wimbledon. So we want to start saving for that. And then we are going to the cabins with some friends. And then Chicago Planner Conference is coming up at the end of this month in February. We're not February yet, technically the end of January. And so I want to make sure I have some spending money. And so for this particular week, not considering these, I had budgeted $400 and I actually spent $400, which left me with $2131.44. I thought it was going to be $955, but of course things, more money came in than I had initially budgeted for. And so we had $2134.44 for my debt. So I paid my Torrid credit card. I had already paid it, but I went ahead and threw $50 more into it just because I just had, I had extra money. And then I paid one of my credit cards. I have 2 Amexes, so I paid both of them probably maybe on a weekly or bi-weekly basis. And so I paid one of those $200 towards that. And so that left me with, after I had budgeted for $250 and I spent $250, I thought I was going to have $705 left over. I actually had $1881.44 left over. And so I went ahead and put it all into savings. So That's really good. So that's the ending result, 1881.44. I think is phenomenal to be able to save. And so again, my acorns is a little tricky because I do throw 200 into it, which we had already discussed over here. And then my, roundups automatically come out on a daily basis. So that's very difficult to track. And so whatever I have left over, I just throw it into savings, and I just assume that if the numbers don't add up, that it's acorns is what is that additional factor. That's why I'm trying to do better with tracking it for this coming week to see exactly how much is going into acorns on a weekly basis. So I actually put in my savings account, that number is actually wrong. It was actually, I think, $16.95. So according to this, that leaves a little bit of the difference. So I'm thinking again, that all went into acorns. So I was very proud of myself to be able to save $16.95 this week. So again, don't look at that number, that's off because I didn't factor some things right for this coming week. And so I was able to throw a little bit more money into savings. So I think that was an awesome week. I mean, a really, really phenomenal week. And again, typically, y'all, I spend so much money. I want to curb that. I want to adult. And so this week really showed me some things about myself. And so I am moving forward. So I did start to track some things here, but it was hit or miss for me because again, I have this, and this is where I'm really tracking everything and breaking everything down. And so I didn't really write in here, but I do see the importance of this. And so now we're going to move into this week's budget. And so this week's budget, you're going to see a huge difference. So Shopify, because again, I was sick. It was a lot going on. I only bought in $435.12. I was paid that on Monday. Amazon again sent me my payment of $146.16. So I went ahead and put it as actual. And then Share a Sale, $143.69 was actual as well. And so the only variable factor right now is PayPal, because when someone pays on my Shopify store, if they pay with PayPal, it just comes in on that day. So I budgeted $300. It could be more, it could be a lot more, and it probably will be a lot more. And so that's going to be tricky. So I just budgeted for that. And if it's more, I'll put it in as actual, and that will probably just get transferred into my savings account because I probably won't know. Of course, I won't know the true number until Sunday of how much actually came in. So I figure if I budget for 300, I shouldn't need that much, but anything over that, I can just throw into savings. I had 2 bills this week. I had my daughter's ballet. I just told you, instead of doing it as a cash envelope, I'm going to actually write it in because it is a bill. And then Adobe charged me $29.99 for my, Adobe cloud services. And so those are my only 2 bills for this week. So I didn't write in the total. So let me go ahead and finish that up. The total for budgeted is $60 plus $29.99 is $89.99 for my budgeted. And so that would leave me with $724.97 right here minus $89.99 would leave me with $634.98. All right, so $634.98 is what we have to work with. So we're going to write that here. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and deduct all of our cash envelopes. Okay, so according to this, I will have $49.98 left over if I abide by this, which is not good. But again, we'll have more money that comes into PayPal that we just are able to configure. And I may not use all of this. We're already at Wednesday, and I've only spent $49 for, I think that was for some more stuff from Uline. I got some cello. And then I can show you exactly what I spent. Now I can. Before I couldn't because I didn't know. And so I spent eating out already. Let's calculate that up because I do have a place for balance. 150 minus 1749 left me with 132.51, and then minus 1816 equals 114.35. So I have 114.35 left over for my eating out, which is great. So I feel like I'm doing well there. And so let's put that back in here. And then I haven't spent anything in the personal category or the grocery category. So all of that is still intact. Nothing else really has been spent in any of these other categories from what I can recall, because I am pretty sure everything went to Acorns, Adobe, that payment I've already put it on there, Marlowe's Tavern, eating out, QT, eating out. Yep, everything is already allocated. So $49.98 is what I'm gonna have left over if all of this goes right. So I'm not gonna have anything to throw into sinking funds. I already paid $200 for one of the sinking funds and then $200 towards Disney. So I'm technically pretty good when it comes to that. I don't need to do sinking funds every single week. So what I'll probably do is throw all of that into savings, because I do want to be saving on a weekly basis. I am not going to pay any credit cards. I don't have a lot of debt, so I'm not going to be paying anything towards debt or towards sinking funds for this week. And so the next week, I will probably throw some more things into sinking funds, because it is going into February. So I need to start paying some things once again. And so typically around the 21st of the month is when I get the majority of the money. So this is like a typical, week in terms of last week. That's going to be where most of the money comes into play, because I get paid from YouTube, from, all of these other places pretty much around that time towards the end of the month. And so it's going to be, a lot less money coming in for the next couple of weeks. Typically on Shopify, I do about $1,500 to $1,600 in terms of that payment. Shopify breaks it up in a weird way. So a lot of times I'll do maybe about $5,000 to $6,000 in revenue that week, but they pay it out in a different way. So it's very tricky with how they decide to pay it out. So I haven't figured that out yet. And so I'll probably do about that amount, probably not this Monday coming up, because it was still a struggle this week, because I'm just, again, getting back into the groove of things, but next week. So you'll get to see how that all works out. So it's just different. And again, this is a weekly, so technically making $724 in a week is great, in my opinion, and making, over $4,000 in the previous week is amazing. So you can kind of get a chance to see my monthly revenue. I've been averaging probably about $10,000 a month across all of my social media platforms, which is really good. And it took a long time to get to that point. So don't think it was like an overnight thing. It's taken some time, and I still have to constantly work at it. And, you have hiccups, things come into play, issues come up. I mean, it's just a whole thing. And it's tough at times. So, this isn't easy. So I just, want to disclaim that as well. So again, I'll come down here into budget, and I will put sinking funds left over $49.98, and then we'll see what the actual is, and then $49.98 up here for sinking funds, then debt. All of this money is just transferring from this number. I'm just bringing it down, and then we'll say $49.98 for savings, and we'll see what happens. And then at the bottom, you can put in all of your income minus expenses, which is what I did here. So I did my income of $43.66.31. I had $1,093 in this bill category. I had $741 in this category of my cash envelopes. I had $400 in my sinking funds. I had $250 in my debt, and so that left me with $1,881. Or actually, then I had $1,881 in savings, so that left me with zero. So I'm doing a zero-based budget. I want to start fresh every week with zero. So any money that is left over on Sunday, when I close everything out, is just automatically going into my savings account. I start fresh on Monday. And so I know once I start doing my cash envelopes, it's going to help me out so much, because sometimes things post late. And so it comes out of that next week's budget, which is a little bit tricky. And so that's the only thing. So again, we are done with our budget for this week. This is all I've spent so far. I'm doing pretty good, again, because I can see things. I know where money is going, and it just feels really good. It just really feels good. And actually, that's not how much I spent. We are actually here and this week. So that's how much this is my budget for the week, and that's how much I've spent so far. And again, this correlates with my cash envelope. So you'll see those same balances there. So this is very, very essential to success of planning and making sure that I am on track. I have to be able to pull this out and go ahead and write it in here, and then I'll write it in there on my actual tracker. So this is the budget for the week. I'm excited to see how it really goes. And so I will do another budget check-in so you guys can see how this week went. So I'm excited about this on my channel. This seems to really help people. last budget video did really well. You guys really seem to enjoy budget videos. And I'm, again, no expert by any means. I'm still learning. I'm still watching lots of videos that have been helping me. And so I'm just trying to figure this all out. And so the only pages that I really didn't use this past week were the weekly summary, which I do want to write in, and then my notes page. I did change the notes page to exclude these boxes here. I don't really feel like there's a need for the boxes. It's just lined now, but this does have boxes on it. So I do want to come here and write in my weekly summary. And so I didn't use that, nor did I use the cash breakdown, because again, we're not using cash envelopes, but this is going to be very essential when I do decide to do that. And then I didn't use a whole page of expense trackers, although I probably did go into this page because I don't think I spent that much last week, but I do feel like I spent a lot more than that. And then you start the next week off with a notes page, and then you've got your budget here. So there's lots of room to write notes and different things, goals and all that good stuff. So I love these. And so here's February. So I added a sticker from the Happy Planner just to indicate that this is February because this is undated. And then we've got our weekly spread. Again, everything is undated. So first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and date everything out. Within my budget planner in the back, I do have a page here that has some stickers from the Happy Planner that I use to date everything out. And so I'm going to fast forward through that process because that's going to take some time, and then we'll move forward in the next step in the process. And so what I'll probably do is just pull these out, and I did not cut these, but I do typically cut the budget inserts just because it makes it easier for pulling them out and putting them back in and shuffling things around. So let's go ahead and just pull these babies out. And I'm just planning for the February monthly because I've already planned for this week of budget, and I go week by week. And I know right now how much I'm going to make on Shopify. That next payment, I know pretty much how much it's going to be. And other than that, I don't have any additional income coming in because, again, I'm not getting paid for Share Sale, Amazon, or any of that has already been paid. It's only paid on a monthly basis. So really for the next couple of weeks, you'll only see Shopify and you'll see PayPal income. And that's pretty much it. All right, so we've got our monthlies. So let's go ahead and just start to date this baby out. All right, I am done planning for the week and I think it looks great. I love it. Very simple. As you can see, like how or where my bills are placed typically are like towards the weekend or the early part of the week. And so I am looking forward to this week. And so I want to also write in, I want to throw some money, of course, into that trip. And so again, I try to be mindful of like where the payment is coming in. The bulk of the money is going to come in on this week, but as you can see, it's going to be on Friday. And so this is going to be a tough one, only because Shopify is what I'll probably, majority of it is what I'll be working with. But the good thing about that is I'll be able to throw a lot into savings because again, I close my budget out on Sunday. And so I think this is going to be a great week. And so I do want to go ahead and throw some money again for that trip I'm going on with a friend of mine or a family that's really close with us. And I think I can fit it in somewhere right here because this YouTube payment. And so I'll probably end up paying it on the 21st. But I'm just going to mark it on the 20th only because I don't have that much space on the 21st. So let's just go ahead and put it where we can get it fit in, although it will be paid out on the 21st. And so that is for my trip to Bethel. And I'm going to throw 200 into it and I'll probably be done with it in February, which is great because we go in May. So this is January's. I think January turned out really good and I love February even more. So let's go ahead and pop these back into the planner and we are all planned up for February, which feels really, really good. And so now again, when I get ready to do my week by week, I use this as a guide. I look across to see what needs to be paid and then I'll write it in my paycheck to paycheck budget. And so that should work out really well. So let's pop this in. So that's why slitting the pages really helps because then I can just literally pop it right in right here. And then we're going to go back to January. Actually, this goes here. And then February is going to go back here. So I think it's going to go. And here's the monthly summary. So it's going to go after the monthly summary because that's going to be where I do my summary for January. And then we've got February. So we are ready to go for February. February starts on Sunday. So I am looking forward to closing out the budget for January and seeing exactly how I did in January. It's really going to be only for 2 weeks because I just started really taking this whole budget thing seriously. And so I'm excited to see how much is saved and how I do and closing out January, y'all. I'm really excited about this. So again, comment below, let me know what you think. Again, these have been very popular in my shop. I guess you guys are all on a budget journey just like I am. Let's do this together, guys. Let's motivate each other. Let's keep pushing each other to achieve all of our savings goals for the year. My goal is to save $20,000 and that's $2,000 a month. So right now I'm on track. We'll see how February goes. So that is it. I'm trying to make sure that I am not forgetting anything. So again, it starts with my monthly spread. I'm all planned up for the monthly of February and I'll write in all of my expenses and then I'll break everything down via the paycheck to paycheck budget and I'll come in here. I'll take the slip out for each category that I decide to do my cash envelopes for. I'll write in how much I can spend and the week, and that way I can track this because again, this stays in my purse, and so that way I have it with me and I can write in things as I'm spending. So this is how last week went and we are ready to go for this current week. So stay tuned. Again, more budget videos on my channel. Again, you guys seem to really like budget videos and it really helps me to be accountable by sharing these details with you guys from my shop income and social media income. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video and you got a little inspiration out of it and you found maybe some tips and tricks that you can use in your budget planner. Share with me below some channels you love to watch on here on YouTube and also some tips and tricks on how you budget plan. I would love to hear from you since I'm such a newbie at this. I am not a veteran. I am just learning, and I'm looking forward to learning things from you guys. So thank you guys so much for watching today. I really appreciate it. You have no idea. Hopefully you guys, again, have been inspired in some way. You'll continue watching my channel. You'll give this video a thumbs up, and also come back and join me for another video, in which case I'll see you guys then.